South Lake Tahoe police telling us they're executing several search and arrest warrants.
America, we just witnessed one of the most comprehensive anti-cartel operations in recent history. Operation Daisy Cutter took down a massive criminal network in the Lake Tahoe area. I'm talking about 21 search warrants executed simultaneously, 15 arrests ranging from cartel-connected gang leaders to outlaw motorcycle club members. But here's what's gonna make your blood boil. These scumbags were actively recruiting middle school and high school kids to sell drugs for them, and some were exploiting teenagers they recruited just to get access to underage girls. This wasn't just drug dealing, this was organized crime with tentacles reaching into human trafficking and child exploitation.
More than a dozen suspects are in jail tonight after a massive drug bust across 2 states. Search warrants were served across the Tahoe region today, resulting in the arrest of at least 15 suspects.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This operation shows what happens when law enforcement agencies actually work together to do their job instead of letting the cartels operate with impunity. Let me break down the massive scope of this operation. This wasn't some small-time drug bust. Operation Daisy Cutter involved multiple federal agencies working with local sheriff's departments across California and Nevada. We're talking about the FBI, ATF, DEA, Homeland Security, all coordinating with El Dorado County, Alpine County, Douglas County, and Wausau County.
Operation Summer Heat has been years in the making here in El Dorado County. And, you know, nearly 100 personnel from South Lake Tahoe Police to the FBI to the El Dorado County Sheriff's Office.
When they moved hard. 21 search and arrest warrants served simultaneously across 7 locations in South Lake Tahoe and 6 other areas. This level of coordination shows you're dealing with a sophisticated criminal network that required massive law enforcement response. 15 people arrested, ranging from, get this, the age of 20 to 61 years old. But here's the key. Several warrants are still active, meaning more arrests are coming in the next few weeks.
Just yesterday, law enforcement, including the FBI, El Dorado County Sheriff's Office, South Lake Tahoe Police, and others, executed 21 arrest warrants across El Dorado and Alpine counties in California and several counties in Nevada as part of Operation Summer Heat.
The people arrested weren't just random drug dealers. We're talking about documented Nordentino gang leaders and associates who were trafficking cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl as part of a cartel-supplied operation in the Tahoe region.
Multi-agency investigation targeted cartel-supplied gangs operating in the Tahoe region.
A little over a year ago, had 4 people die from fentanyl poisoning up in South Lake Tahoe at a Super Bowl party.
But it gets worse. Among those arrested were members of an outlaw motorcycle gang like the Devil's Disciplines and Pissed Off Bastards of Bloomington. This shows how these criminal networks interconnect. We've got Mexican cartels supplying drugs to the streets, gangs who work with motorcycle clubs to distribute them throughout American communities. The investigation also uncovered people who had been previously deported in March 2025 and came back, get this, illegally. Military deserters who lied about their service records and gang members directly connected to fatal drug overdoses.
Among those charged, Nordentino gang leaders accused of trafficking cocaine, meth, and fentanyl while allegedly recruiting local middle and high school students and exploiting male recruits to gain access to underage girls.
This wasn't just about drugs. This was organized crime with tentacles reaching into illegal immigration, military fraud, human trafficking, and child exploitation. Now here's what should make every parent in America furious. These gang members were actively recruiting middle school and high school kids to sell drugs for them. Think about that. They were targeting kids as young as 12, 13 years old to become drug dealers. But it gets even more sickening. According to prosecutors, some of these gang members were exploiting the teenage boys they recruited just to get access to underage girls. They were using these kids as drug dealers and as a pipeline for sexual exploitation for other kids.
Once you're sucked in, it's hard to get out of that environment. So we want to be able to take this head on. We want to be able to make the parents and the schools and our communities aware of this particular threat and this concern.
FBI Special Agent Patel said it perfectly. Once you're in, it's hard to get out of the environment. These predators specifically target vulnerable kids because they know once they're involved, it's almost impossible for these kids to escape. The charges from this case tell the entire story. Possession of cocaine to sell, possession of fentanyl to sell, possession of ketamine to sell, illegal firearm sales, and probation violations. These weren't users. These were distributors bringing cartel-supplied drugs into American communities and using our children as their workforce. This operation was directly connected to a fentanyl poisoning incident that killed people at the Super Bowl party in South Lake Tahoe just over a year ago. Think about that. Families gathering to watch football and 4 people died because of poison these criminals were flooding into communities.
District Attorney Vern Pearson will prosecute the individuals arrested, with several still located out of state.
Total at this point of 17 in custody. Some here in California, some in the state of Nevada, which will be extradited back.
District Attorney Vern Pearson isn't messing around with this prosecution. He said the El Dorado County stands as one of California's safest counties due to our unwavering commitment to prioritize accountability for criminal misconduct. That's exactly what real leadership sounds like. The fact that this required federal agencies to get involved shows we're dealing with international cartel operations on American soil. The FBI, ATF, DEA, and Homeland Security had to coordinate because these aren't local criminals. These are organizations that cross state lines and international borders.
You have the leaders there, you have the individuals that are pursuing some of these activities, whether it be the violent crimes, the gun trafficking, whether it be drugs.
The operation took multiple years of investigation and coordination between federal, state, and local agencies. They didn't stumble onto this. This was a built case, gathered evidence, and struck when they could take down the entire network. Compare this to what you see in places like San Francisco, Portland, and Chicago, where they're letting drug dealers operate openly. This happens when you have prosecutors who actually prosecute and law enforcement that's allowed to do their jobs.
If you traffic firearms, if you traffic hardcore drugs, stay out of El Dorado County.
Now, 4 additional arrest warrants are still outstanding as part of this operation.
The message from DA Pearson to other cartel and gang members is crystal clear. If you traffic firearms, if you traffic drugs, stay out of El Dorado County. This is exactly why we need strong border security and federal law enforcement. Local cops can't fight international cartels by themselves. When you have leadership that backs law enforcement, instead of handcuffing them, you get results like Operation Daisy Cutter. America, Operation Daisy Cutter shows what's possible when law enforcement agencies work together and prosecutors actually want to prosecute. 15 criminals off the street, a cartel-connected network dismantled, and kids that won't be recruited in gang life. But it also shows the scope of the problem that we're facing. Mexican cartels aren't just operating at the border. They're in Lake Tahoe. They're recruiting American children. They're exploiting our kids, and they're flooding our communities with deadly drugs. The fact that these criminals were targeting middle school kids for recruitment and exploiting teenage boys to access underage girls shows the level of evil that we're dealing with. This isn't just about drugs. This is about predators using criminal organizations to destroy lives of American children. Meanwhile, in Democrat-run cities, they're worried about criminal civil rights while kids are being recruited into gangs and families are being destroyed by fentanyl. The contrast couldn't be clearer. This is why elections matter. This is why supporting law enforcement matters. This is why border security matters. When you have leadership that prioritizes Americans over criminals, you get results like Operation Daisy Cutter. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.